Yes, Hickok 45, your internet shooting companion, shooting 6.8, coming to you from the beautiful barren state of Tennessee, the home of Alvin York. Yes, he would like to have had one of these, no doubt, unless everybody else had one. I don't know. Yeah, that's a tougher decision, right? So anyway, glad you're here in Tennessee, and it's March the 10th, and things are beginning to blossom, well, a little bit, bud out, and grass is getting green in some areas. So who knows? We could have an ice storm tomorrow or something, but keeping my fingers crossed. It's looking better. You really can't see much difference probably in that direction, because that's just the woods, the sort of the deep woods and all that kind of thing, the bigger trees in the background, but I'm looking at some things budding out over in that direction a little bit. But so yeah, here we are in March 10th, and good to have you here. I have, guess what I have? The Robinson Armament. You might be familiar with them, the ACR-L, the XCR. And pretty interesting. They contacted me, and when I was interested in taking a look at it, I wasn't all that familiar with it. And so they made one with 3 or 4 different conversions, okay, barrels. 300 blackout, 7.62 by 39, the AK round, many of you know, and 223 and 6.8, which is what I have in it right now. So kind of interesting. It'll be donated, of course, and so pretty cool. I mean, so far I haven't shot it a lot, but I brought it out one day and thought, okay, I'm gonna out into my work shed, and so okay, let me see, about this thing, because it got all the kits, the barrels and whatever's needed to convert it to those other calibers, 4 in total, chamberings. Okay, let's see if this is how smooth this is, or if this is a little bit of a headache, or whatever. And so far, I'm impressed. I'll have to say I've gone from, it came in 223, 5.56, and I converted to 6.8, and that was very, very simple. Didn't have to change out the gas, and that seems pretty simple too. One screw, take out right here, loosens the barrel, pull the barrel out, and then pop this lever and the back falls down and pull out the bolt and the new bolt face, and it was just very, very simple. So far. But so anyway, I'm going to shoot it for a while, have it for a while, shoot all 4 chamberings, and keep you updated, bring it out occasionally on Sundays, and then we'll do a video on it. I'm not going to do a video converting it to all 4 chamberings or anything, but we'll at least convert it in the video to one other one or something and show you the parts. So if you have one, let me know what your experience is with it. Initially, and with the limited experience I've had with it, it feels really solid. It feels really well made. It feels like a precision instrument. And it really does. There's a side charger. I mean, it just feels good. Triggers heavenly. I mean, it's a little bit different operation, in terms of extending the stock, and then also folds. So, yeah, so far, pretty impressed. 6.8 is one of my, I just have one firearm that fires it, but I really like the 6.8 SPC. I really do. So I brought that out to shoot it some. Is that okay? Yeah, it did. And just everybody. Alabama holster. I got a holster with nothing in it. That's because my phone's on the table. Got something in my pocket holster though. Yeah, appreciate Alabama holster. They're Kydex concealment holsters. Pretty cool. Don't have to be concealment, but most of them are pretty much, right? So Alabama holster. There'll be a quiz later, and I will ask you some tough questions like, where do you think Alabama holster is located? Yeah, what state? Yeah, who's buried in Grant's tomb? All that kind of thing. I don't know why it feels like it's raining, but it's not. It's actually perfect because it's very cloudy, and I don't have to deal with the sun shining in the wrong direction, that kind of thing. So yeah, man, here we are, and appreciate all the folks that helped ballast toweling grips. Don't forget yeah, we'll give this away, but not on TikTok. You know, I still get occasionally a message about the giveaways. It's I don't know what to think of that. TikTok and Snapchat, whatever these places are, with the scams always running. And yeah, and but speaking of other channels, don't forget the Hickok 45 Clips channel. I know y'all are enjoying that, and I see comments. I'm enjoying it. You know, things John pulls out, checking them out. It's kind of neat. And trip down memory lane. Notice John's already pulled out a clip from the discussion with Chris Lunsford, and you've seen everything we did with him now, the chat and the shooting and just different things. We did other shooting and things, but we just didn't film everything, you know. But so that's up there, and I can tell a lot of people really appreciate that. As always, brings out a couple of non-likers. That's my new term for haters, right? But yeah, just 99% of people really have enjoyed that, and we enjoyed having him here and everything. You know, we didn't, like I say, didn't record everything. You know, some people do. And there's footage. I think Chris's folks were filming, and you may see some different things you haven't seen on our channel. I don't know. Maybe will post, or we'll post some of it later. I don't know, but because you know we're ready to exchange footage and that kind of thing. But one of the things about me and John too, and the way we've always operated, is we don't get. I don't even carry a camera, is what I'm getting at. Most of the time, I've got my phone with me all the time, and have been able to do some FAQ videos, you know, when I'm on a trip or something, either with my wife or whatever. But my first thought is not to always have a camera. Kind of ironic, because that's sort of how I got started doing this, because I always liked having a still camera, at least, or a camera. And then when digital cameras came out, I had a digital camera in my pocket for years before the phone cameras were even in existence or any good. And because it was cool to be able to take pictures, you know, little short MPEGs and things. That's how the first Hickok 45 video that we posted, the earliest one on the channel of me just shooting 5 shots at the buffalo, because I had that in my pocket, you know, and I just held it out, that kind of thing. So I've always liked that, but I'm not always looking to get everything on video. I'm sorry, and it's people would probably prefer I did. I've been a lot of places, events and everything, and come back with not even any still shots, you know, or much less video. So you know, we don't have an entourage. I'll be at a gun show in Tulsa or somewhere, you know, and say, where's everybody? You know, I expect you to have an entourage, you know, or are you by yourself? You know, they're like shocked, you know. Or I'll go with a friend or something, and neither one of us is doing video. So it's, you know, it's just, we just don't get as much video as we could, you know, I guess. I'm at a gun show looking at guns, you know, and doing different things, and I'm experiencing whatever I'm seeing, and just not, my first thought is not to capture video on it. Sometimes I do, but it's rare. But anyway, that's that, and appreciate y'all watching that, and pretty cool. Well, I was going to say something about the short I did shooting old Bigfoot. You know, I might shoot him while I'm talking about it. Look what I've got. Someone said this week, you need to get out a Colt single action. You haven't had one out for a while. Yeah, it really takes a lot of arm twisting, doesn't it? So I got the new and the old today. So I'm going to load this baby up, and I'll shoot Clyde while I'm thinking about it. How's that? Or at him. This one prints a little high. This is a cool one. It's a 1956 model. Does anybody know the significance of that? Come on now. That's a tougher quiz question than the earlier one, right? Some of you know, 1956, this was made. What is significant about that? Go ahead and type it in the comments really quick. Yep, I see it there. Okay, yeah, correct. It's the first year of the second generation Colt single action Army, when they started making them again after the World War II break there. Okay, so 1956. 7.5-inch barrel, 45 Colt. Let me see if I can hit Clyde with it. Oh. Alright, Clyde. Got him. Nice. Nice. Sorry, Clyde. Keep pounding you. How about this paper? Yeah. How about a little steel? How about, well, I'll get him later. Boom. Okay. So, yep. Colt Single Action Army. Just because last year was the 150th anniversary, as I warned you, does not mean I have forgotten about them. I could never do that. If I had one out on a Sunday since 2023, maybe not. Wow, yeah, I've gone pretty well. It's like breaking a habit, isn't it? You know, cigarettes, alcohol, whatever your bad habit might be. Although Colt Single Actions are not a bad habit, but yeah, that's about 2.5 months. If I've done that, I might not have. I'll go back and look. So yeah, good old Colt Single Action, 45 Colt in the original configuration, 45 Colt and 7.5-inch barrel. Yeah, pretty nice. Oh man, two great guns to shoot. I mean, again, this thing feels great. It really does. I can't get over the trigger. It's a little bit of different feel than most ARs, and just very, very, very nice. And I'll know more about it. The barrel's all marked, you know, so you don't end up putting the wrong barrel in. The bolt's marked, the bolt face, whatever parts you're having to change out. And yeah, pretty cool. They asked me what color I wanted, and I said, well, I won't be keeping it, but that grayish kind of looks cool on their website. So I really appreciate them doing this. It's a nice donation to whatever the cause ends up being. And it's also nice to be able to bring it to you all. And, you know, whether it works or not, or it's a total failure or a total success, or I hate it or you hate it, or I love it or you love it, it's great. You know, it's a win-win kind of deal. You never know when you'll see something on our channel that's worthwhile. You'll see a firearm that, wow, you just really want it badly, or you really don't want it badly because you don't like it or something. Use a 1/4-inch Allen wrench there, loosen that up and pull the barrel out. So pretty neat. Can I shoot it again? Yep, 6.8. You know, my 6.8 spec SPC takes the bigger mags that Magpul makes. It's the LWRC. That's a really nice rifle. I need to bring that out, don't I? 6.8. It's a great cartridge. There are a lot of great cartridges in the AR platform, aren't there? And I guess we do a lot of arguing about what's the best one, or which one's going to survive, and all that kind of thing. Meanwhile, I guess almost all of them that have come out have survived to an extent, right? If I like it and I keep using it, or hunting with it, or shooting with it, or whatever I do, loading for, it has survived. I think, like a lot of things in the shooting world, we get too hung up on all that, about what cartridge is going to survive. Oh, that was a failure and that sort of thing. You know, maybe so. I mean, we've got a cartridge for about everything we need, right? So anything that comes out new mostly is just going to fill a little niche in a certain segment of the shooting public, is going to be drawn to it. And if it's enough to keep it alive, then so what? Maybe it's not considered a loser. It's just a niche. You know, look at the cars on the road. How many pickup trucks are made? How many cars are made? Models of cars, sizes of cars, all that sort of thing. Well, we could probably sit out here and watch cars go by and pick out a couple that you don't see very often, call it a loser, because I haven't seen one of those in a week. That's a loser car. Well, maybe 20,000 people have bought them, or 50,000, or 100,000, and it just seems like, you know, no one's interested. Man, I'm just full of philosophy. What else do you want to know about? I gotta shoot this thing again. Oh yeah, you distracted me. I was going to tell you about the machine gun short on Bigfoot that I did. Hopefully you're seeing all the shorts too. and they don't take a long time to watch. Right? But yeah, I sat up there and I just said something stupid and said I'm going to shoot him with a machine gun or something. And I've seen a couple of comments that that AK is an assault rifle, it is not a machine gun, etc., etc., etc. Yeah. And that's true. Sometimes, newsflash, sometimes in a title or even in speech, we take, what's it called? Poetic license. If you don't know what poetic license is, look it up, okay? We might say something that's a little incorrect technically, but it's just for dramatic effect. Because I said, I'm going to shoot Clyde with a machine gun. It just sounds more dramatic than saying with my Type 56 AK, or something like that. Okay, poetic license it's called. I mean, it's just a lot. It doesn't have to be poetry, but that's where it kind of comes from. You want to rhyme, or not mess up the rhythm of a line or whatever it might be. You might change a word, break a word in a weird spot, use the wrong form of something. Like Bob Dylan, the song Lay Lady Lay upon your big brass bed or whatever. I've lost a lot of nights' sleep because of that song, because he misuses the verb lay. Should be lie, But anyway, poetic license. Bob Dylan was quite a writer, quite a poet. So he probably knew he was using incorrect grammar. So how do you go from shooting Clyde with a machine gun to Bob Dylan? It's possible for me, isn't it? Okay. Not hard at all. Not hard to do. All right, 6.8. Around back in the chamber. Now I can't shoot stuff close with this, except a 2-liter. Now hit high. Okay. Woo. What I was missing on was the little plate on the left. Hit him a couple times, but I missed him some. What I discovered was when I switched, you have excuses for misses, right? Well, I did know, I didn't want to mess with the sights, but I did notice when I went from 5.56 to 6.8 SPC, the 5.56, they must have sighted it in for me. I don't know, where it was just coincidence. But on 5.56, the sight, and of course they're just metal sights, polymer sights, whatever. They were pretty much right on. They where I kind of like to hold. And the only change when I put in the 6.8 barrel and everything and the bolt, I thought, okay, let's see if it hits anywhere in the same neighborhood, the same state, with now with the changeover. And the only thing I noticed, I think, I didn't put it on paper. It could be that I was going a little bit left or right on that, because I thought I was moving my elevation enough, but maybe not. But it does shoot, it prints lower with the 6.8. Okay, so I have to hold it right on the top edge of the target or a little bit above the target. I noticed it changed my point of aim on that. So on a smaller target, threw me off a little bit. So, I don't know what it'll be interesting when I change out the others and see how it affects the point of impact or aim, if it does. And I guess most people would probably put some kind of optic on a firearm like this. And then if you're going to be switching it out a lot, you would kind of get to know what to do with your sighting, I guess. I don't know if it changed very much. So I'm not going to change it because I don't know what I'm going to change. I'm going to try all the barrels and chamberings, everything. So I'll just I'll keep you posted on how that goes, how much the point of aim changes. So yeah, man, what a sweet trigger! What a sweet trigger, for sure. 6.8 just a nice cartridge. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I'm not going to pelt Clyde with too much. I notice Clyde's beginning to get a little concave on me just a bit because it's thin, and so I may have to take him and have some braces put on the back of him a little bit. He's hardened steel, but he's thin, very thin. So and he's hanging. He's not leaning up against that tree. He is hanging. So we'll see. I may have to lay him down, put a bunch of drive the car over him. I'll park the truck on his back to bend him back down. Okay, what else do you want to know about? Well, again, it's an election year, so make your voice heard, and make it heard in the voting booth. I went and voted this week, and kind of neat. It was in a different place. In the primary, it was in John's old high school where he played basketball, and it was in the gym, of course. Hadn't been in there, since he played. I think last time I was in that gym was when he was playing, I think, a basketball game. But anyway, make sure you're doing that. You're voting, and you're contacting all the right people. And also, some of you are maybe new to shooting and everything, and you're not as active politically. I know I joined the NRA pretty early on. My gosh, I was in my early 20s. I don't remember when the first time, and that was kind of the only game in town at the time. But and I think they were better managed back then, maybe. But look into the gun rights organizations, whether it's the Firearms Policy Coalition, the Second Amendment Foundation, the Gun Owners of America, and NRA, your state organizations. Start with them if you have a decent one in your state, and try to support them, really. And because once you get on the list, and you will get literature, you will get information, you will get mailings where they want you to donate more money and all that. But that's all right. You'll survive it. Just do what you can. I do kind of use the shotgun effect, as I've said. I'm a life member of all of them, and I don't know, how much it helps. And but you try to do what you can. Bringing people into the shooting world, I feel like probably the best thing that I can do, that we can do, more so than the money that I give to support, even the gun rights organizations. The more people who continue the traditions and enjoy it, and buying firearms and taking them to the range, enjoying them, the better protected our rights are, I think. Think about it. It sounds maybe obvious, or might sound absurd to you, but if I don't know, by next year, if half the number of people are enjoying this sport than are now or something, that really puts shooting in jeopardy, doesn't it? Putting gun rights in jeopardy. It doesn't matter if something's in the Constitution. It can be changed. Enough people get together and want to modify it. So anyway, keep that in mind. There's Second Amendment Sisters. There's lots of organizations. And y'all can add some others. Let's see, I'm a member of it. I think I'm a life member. What is it? Jewish Gun Owners of America, something like that. I joined them a long time ago too. But anyway, I also had a comment this week about someone asked or saw a comment. I guess one of the defund the police proponents, and said, "Are you gonna back the blue when they are ordered to come for your guns?" That's an issue we could talk about for hours, right? We really. I hope every soldier and every police officer who takes the oath of office to honor the Constitution observes that, no matter what happens, right? They don't take an oath to the police department or to whoever the Secretary of Defense is. They take an oath to the Constitution, right? So you got to hope that by far the mass majority of people in uniform are going to keep their word. You really do. What's the alternative? And whenever I see that, I see someone when they make comments like that. Quite often, it's there's someone who, hates authority anyway, and none of us like to get stopped by the police or anything like that. Of course, being told what to do, or being 5 miles over the speed limit and getting stopped and seeing the blue lights. I mean, that just irritates all of us, right? So I understand that, but then it's one of those necessary evils. And I'm not saying that police are evil. I'm just saying it's a necessary evil. What if people could just think it through? What's the alternative? Let's not have any law and order. How about let's go live in Somalia or somewhere, and whoever the toughest thug gang is, you're at their mercy. You're going to be at the mercy of somebody. Put it that way. You young people haven't thought this through. You're going to be ruled and told what to do by somebody. Either it's going to be someone in a uniform that has gone through training, and that police chief has been appointed by someone you've elected, or that sheriff has been elected by you, and all that kind of thing. They answer to the people ultimately, maybe indirectly, and sometimes we wonder about all that kind of thing. Yeah, life is messy. It's either that, or you're going to be ruled by a bunch of yahoos running around in a Toyota truck with a machine gun on the back and lots of knives, or butcher knives, and if you don't do what they want, they just behead you, whatever. Okay, so you're going to be ruled by somebody, by either gangs or by a slightly more organized system. So, defund who you want, but I don't know. It's like everything. Nothing is perfect. No utopia. Everything is messy in some ways. So we want to choose what is the least messy, right? Speaking of messy, what about a 250 grain slug on a 2-liter? Let's see if I'll go through that 2-liter and hit that plate. It sure did, didn't it? Oh, I got a new plate I just hung up. A buddy of mine made the swinger for me to hang it on. See it down there to the left of the barrel? I just hung it about 10 minutes ago. All right, that's the first hit on that plate ever. Nice. Click. And then I don't have enough plates, so I ordered a couple more, since he made that, welded it for me, and put the chains on it. So yeah, you can always use another target, right? In fact, he's the same fellow who made, he's been a friend for a long time. He used to compete matches together in the 80s, even 90s. He's the one, believe it or not, who made the swinging plates, the 6-inch swinging plates on the main range. Those 5 plates right there on the rack. It was about 88 or something along in there. He made those for me. I was in San Diego at a sales conference or something, and I remember talking to him on the phone, explaining he could weld what I would love to have, and he made that, and I've been shooting it ever since. So yeah, so another target to miss. Pretty cool, huh? 45. Hard to beat. Hard to beat. I look at guns like this sometimes, and I like to think about what I was doing when this was being made. I was about 6 years old, Just a dumb little kid. I couldn't have told you what a Colt single action was, even though I'd watching them in the West. I would have called it a cowboy gun, of course, but didn't really understand that in Hartford, Connecticut, there were skilled gunsmiths hammering this thing out and fitting it. While I was just barely past filling my diapers. This exact gun. So, second generation gun, made in 1956, first year. I've got a 57 model as well. I've thought about matching them up and putting the same grips on both of them. In fact, I've got a set of oversized grips. That one I'm talking about. It's just like this 57 model, and it's got the white Eagle grips on it. Well, I've got a set of those oversized to fit to this, thinking I'd match them up. And I may do it. I probably probably will. These are the second generation original grips. In some ways, it's cool to leave those on. What do you think? Should I do that? If I were cowboy action shooting, I probably would. I probably definitely would. I maybe definitely would. I don't know. So they'd match. Nothing like the old 7.5 inchers. I tell you, they're easier to shoot well for anybody, I think. In fact, my last 2 cowboy matches I shot in, I had, let's see, was it this one? Did I have this one? I shot 2 7.5 inch Colts. It was that 57 model. I'm not sure I had this one yet. There's another 7.5 inch model. And I shot both of those matches. I shot black powder, Frontier cartridge class, and I shot both of those matches clean. I had no misses, that means, through the whole matches with the rifle or the handgun. Now, you can still come in last and shoot one clean if you're really slow. But I think I won one of them or both of them, I don't know, in the black powder cartridge category. But yeah, it's kind of a good way to end it. Even though I didn't know I was ending it, I just happened not to get back into it for some reason. So cool guns, both of these. And wow, what a contrast though. High tech in some ways, low tech in some ways, large caliber, smaller caliber. So, anything else you're dying to know about? I know what I should do. Well, for one thing, young people, I do want to, should have started this earlier, young people, but there have been some verdicts come up in at least one, maybe a couple of shootings, and in court cases involving shootings. One of them, and another incident my wife was telling me about, she's watching some show, old show on demand or something about this person, this guy that was in big trouble in a court case. He had shot I think he was a teenager. But anyway, in that case and in something like that, I think it was Texas maybe, this stuff comes up. If you're kind of new to firearms or you haven't thought through this, you're just not very savvy about some of the law and things like that, it's worth mentioning. Because in these cases I'm thinking of, someone got in big trouble going outside with a rifle or a shotgun or a handgun, could be, because somebody's messing around their house or their driveway. It comes up their driveway. In one of these cases, it was, I guess, maybe a fur piece to the house. I don't know. Came up their driveway and were up to something, they thought, and so they're out there. And one of these cases, some guy had military experience, and all that, and was employing his experience and everything, and ended up killing somebody in a car, And bottom line is, you cannot shoot at somebody because they're on your property. I mean, maybe in old days you could get by with that. I mean, if you wanted to. I mean, you really don't want to hurt somebody over property, probably. Although, I don't know, the way things are getting, we may have to get back to that to get law and order going again. I don't know. It used to be looters were automatically, that was just, you loot, you loot, you get shot, that kind of thing. And that's why people were really reluctant to loot during a crisis or something. But yeah, those days are over, pretty much. But you do realize, and I don't know, the state laws vary, but not a lot, that just because you have a firearm and just because it's your property, you really, as frustrating as it might be, you cannot go after somebody with a firearm if they're out in your driveway stealing your car or bashing the windshield out. You just can't. Even if they drive up your driveway and around your house and it looks like they're up to something, and you better dial 911 right away. You can get your gun and have it ready, but and again, I'm not a lawyer, but the second you go out the door, you are opening up a can of worms. You really are. Now, every situation is different. You might feel like you've got to go out the door or you're in jeopardy. I can't speak to that. I'm not a lawyer, but I know people. This comes up every now and then. Someone they're in jail. and you know, someone was stealing their car. I mean, you live in an apartment right now, you look out and someone's stealing your car. Or they're out there with a sledgehammer beating on the hood because they don't like you or something. You cannot go out there and even threaten them with a firearm, I don't think. I mean, you can't even get by. You can't do that, you know. Now, when someone comes into your house, trying to get into your house, they're breaking the windows and the door down, they're coming in. Different story totally, okay? But, you know, it seems like a strange world. You know, we see the movies, you see John Wayne, you know, is John Wayne going to just sit in his recliner while someone's out stealing his horse? And no, not really. But you can't do that. You just keep that in mind. You go outside and you're brandishing a firearm, you could get in big trouble no matter what happens. Okay, you can get into big trouble. So be aware of that. Those cases pop up every now and then. And sometimes it's some old guy, you know, like me, it doesn't keep up with laws or know much, even less than I know. And they think, well, boy, he was out there stealing my tractor. Of course I shot at him. Well, you can't do that. You can't even think about that, you know. So anyway, just be aware of that. If you're a young person, that might be news to you. You might, what, really? Somebody stealing your car? You can't just go out there and shoot at them? No, you can't. You can call the police and get them there as quick as possible, unless you have voted to defund the police in your area, right, to the point where they're 2 hours away, right? Anyway, that's my advice for young people. Be aware of that. Okay, 6.8, I think I'll put a couple more rounds in that and shoot that a little bit more. So, I'm going too long. Oh man, yeah. There's something else I don't know what that was I was going to mention. Probably a lie. It's a nice day to talk and shoot, so I don't want to over talk and overshoot. I'm just going to put a couple more in this magazine. I'm a big fan of the 6.8. I really am. I probably shoot more 223 than 6.8. I just, I don't know. It's a good hunting round from what I hear. Hog round and everything. It gets down to survival rounds. We're always thinking about too, aren't we? We probably think about that kind of stuff too much. Oh, I wouldn't want that. 223. That's going to be more available, you know. And there's something to that, but by and large, you know, your gun with 30 rounds and keeping you alive and some kind of apocalypse, you know, survivalists, okay, the survivalist community, whoever that is, you know, sometimes I think they focus more on guns and ammo than they should. All right, you know, you're going to need water and food first, and then stockpiling thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds of ammo to get through that apocalypse. Can't speak today. Apocalypse, or the grid down, whatever it might be. But keep in mind, it really is the same for concealed carry, just normal day-to-day life. People probably worry about having not enough rounds too much, you know. How many, if you're actually, I mean, think about it logically again, whether it's during the apocalypse or it's in the Walmart parking lot, how many rounds are you firing that you are in total control of? You're not hitting some innocent bystander. How many rounds really are you going to be firing because someone is firing at you? Are you going to be in some gigantic shootout? Are you an FBI agent or something? Or what's the deal? Generally, when that first shot's fired, people scatter, for one thing. I mean, do people want to get you that badly? They're going to just keep firing at you after they realize you have a firearm. You've actually pointed it back at them. They're shooting at you, and then you fire a shot. They're going to just stay after you. What is it that they want you so badly for, right? And even in an apocalyptic situation, how many rounds, you're in a shootout, I mean, how many rounds are you going to need to fire before someone's going to tap you? Yeah, someone must be shooting at you, trying to get a shot at you with a scope or not, or whatever. If you're in a big, if you're shooting 2 or 3 magazines full of ammo, that means, I guess, they're shooting that much at you. So you're probably, you might be gone before that magazine's empty. But anyway, I'm not an expert in any of this, but just things to keep in mind, like common sense. Keep some common sense in mind. Extra ammo would be probably more useful as a barter item, than something you're going to be firing, hundreds or thousands of rounds, right? Just because I fire thousands of rounds. Okay, let's shoot this a couple more times. All right, 6.8. We haven't done it. Oh yeah, I rehung this bowling pin here too. See, now that you can tell the difference. Remind me the next time I have a 5.56 out to shoot that bowling pin. We'll compare how it moves it, okay? Boom, nice sound, huh? Yeah, so anyway, my initial impressions of this, and I've shot it, I don't know, 3 or 4 times now, is that, yeah, pretty nice. Yeah, I even like the looks of it. Yeah, that's all right. I have to watch myself. I grow too fond of firearms sometimes. There are so many guns. They're just like every other gun, and I am bad when I encounter something that I really like. That I think I might need one of those. I still feel that way about the. You might have seen. Well, let's see. You might have seen by now. I don't know, the LC carbine 45 video, or at least the short we did with it. I like that, but. Do I need one? Need, quote unquote. Pretty cool. I shot it out here on Sunday as well. The fact that it's 45, I like the gun, and it's also 45. So that's it's got a couple things going for it, doesn't it? So, and it's a pistol caliber carbine. That's almost enough. They're fun to shoot. So I guess I need to let you go. Nothing else you're dying to know about. You saw a posting on Instagram, the real Hickok 45. I posted a picture of Slamfire last week. He's lying on my lap, and many of you asked me about him because he's shown up in a few videos. He's not lately. He's gotten smarter. I don't know. He doesn't come down to the shooting table when we're setting up as much, but he's still a good old boy. You can tell he's cute as ever, sweet as ever, and just has to be in my lap, most mornings. And I'm got the laptop computer. If you've got a cat, you know what I mean. So I've got the laptop in my lap, and here he comes over, and he goes in and out of the house. He comes over when he's in. He looks up at me like, okay, hang on, because you can tell by looking at his eyes, he's ready to jump up in my lap. If you have a cat, you know what I mean. And here's a news flash. They're very quick. Cats are very quick. All of a sudden he's up there. He's like sitting on your keyboard, if you don't go ahead and get that moved. So I have to really watch him. I fry, for example, I fry eggs almost every morning, unless I go out. But most mornings I fry eggs, eat bacon and eggs every morning. My mom's old iron skillet, and so I get it on my plate, heated plate, and take it into my office, living room, whatever, the recliner chair, and it's kind of where I work with the laptop and all that. And so I'll sit down and start to eat that. And if he comes, I really have to watch him then. If I got my eggs just right, because there's an art to getting eggs, warm. Get your plate warm, the bacon, the eggs. I don't eat toast anymore, but everything is warm, and it doesn't stay warm. Eggs don't stay warm very long. So my 3 eggs and bacon So I sit down with that and ready to eat. And if he comes creeping by, man, I either move or I have to be mean to him because I don't even jump up on my plate or in my lap while I'm eating. And because he doesn't quite get that. He feels like no matter what I'm doing, I should invite him up there. You know, he didn't want the eggs. He didn't care about the food, but it's got to be in my lap. Anyway, Slamfire's doing fine. He's a good old boy, and I've had him 10 years now. And I know you dog people, you think I'm crazy, right? I had dogs for 40 years, golden retrievers, but these two cats are great pets. I've enjoyed them. You don't see Boo Boo much. I mean, she's so scared of her own shadow, so she doesn't come outside and she doesn't get on the shooting table. It's funny, I've had people come to visit for years and they think I'm probably making. I have to show them a picture of Boo Boo because she is petrified of anybody she doesn't know. She goes to the basement, and she not only goes to the basement, she goes down there and hides behind boxes or something where and then doesn't come out if a stranger has been in the house for like hours. So they just never see her. They just never see her. It's like she's a phantom cat. So that's everything you want to know about my cats. I'll let you go. Really appreciate your support, and I appreciate you also helping people out in the comments, have questions about things, guns they don't understand or whatever. I try to scan through and answer some things, but I can't, I don't see everything and can't answer everything. I do like to answer some things though, because it's, I feel like I'm getting to more people than like if everybody could email me or something. It would be kind of scary, but if I write something, a question or a message on Facebook or anything, then it's just going to one person, and it's a question probably that everybody has, or a lot of people do. That's why we have the FAQ videos. We actually have a playlist of those that's up to date. But if I answer somebody in an actual comment that I see a question about something, I feel like, well, that's there now. Anybody that watches the video tomorrow or 10 years from now, or whatever, they may see that answer and see that I'm dumber than a doorknob, right? So y'all take care, and I will see you next week. And next week will be the 17th of March. Yeah, got a busy week next week I'll tell you about. So I'll probably be a little early on that. But 17, man, we're getting closer and closer to what month? April. So talk to you later. It's been good to visit with you. Life is good.